everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from Armageddon. Yes, we are back with more Intercessors, and, well, today we are painting these up as white scars, because I'm really enjoying painting white scars, and I've been learning a lot about how their company markings and things happen, so I really want to do some more of that on these guys. So a massive thank you goes out to Games Workshop, who sent me these guys early to build up and paint with all of you, and that is exactly what we're going to do starting now. So they have all been primed in white scar, and the colour we're going to be using first is Seraphim Sepia, and we're going to be applying this over the top of, well, pretty much all of the armour, and we're even going to apply this over the top of the chest aquillas here, which are going to be red eventually. But if we apply this now, it just brings it down a little bit so that when we then apply the proper red later, it's just a nicer colour. So we're just going to take that Seraphim Sepia and we're just going to start applying this over the top of all of their power armour. So with all of that Seraphim Sepia applied, what we're actually going to do is we're going to paint in the sort of organisational markings first. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some Baal Red. I'm going to use this to do two things. So just on the Sergeant here, well, we've done it on the rest of the other four, but the Sergeant has an exclusive thing on his right leg, but we'll get to that in just a minute. What we're going to do here is we're going to put these guys into, what squad was it? It was second squad is what we're going to be doing. Second squad of our Intercessors. So I'm going to take some Baal Red and we're going to draw in basically a lightning bolt going down the middle of this knee pad, going down like this. Then we do a cut and then we bring it down like so. And then we block in the other half. There we go. The reason we do this now is so that if we have made any mistakes or it's not quite as sharp as we want it to be, when we come to apply the white later to the rest of the model, we can tidy it up. So what we also need to do is on our Sergeant here, on his other leg, is we need to paint in, which company they belong to. We're going to go with third company here. So what we need to do is we need to start just past the middle of the leg, and we're going to bring this down as a straight line, starting from around about there, like so. Then we're going to do a cut. Like that. Then we're going to do another straight line. To meet up with that one. Then we do a cut. And then we do another straight line. Coming down like this. And then we block in this half of the leg. So with all of that Baal Red applied, what we're then going to do is take some Blood Angel's Red. I'm going to use this to recess shade over the top of this little bit of leg around the knee. Just like that, just to add a little bit of shading in there. But what we're also going to do with the Blood Angel's Red is we're going to apply this over top of any eye lenses and over the top of all of their chest aquillas. So with that Blood Angel's Red all applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion. And we're going to apply this over the top of all the leather, all the weapon casings, and all the soft joints in the armour. So with that all done exclusively to our sergeant, we're going to take some Darkoath Flesh. I'm going to apply this over the top of his face. And then next up we take some Skeleton Horde and we apply this over top of all the parchment. And with that all done, we then take some Volupus Pink and we apply this over the top of the wax seals on our purity seals. And so with that all done, we are now going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. We're going to apply this over top of all of the mechanical areas on the gun, the chainsword, and over the top of the mechanical areas on the backpack. As well as this kind of panel thing on the sergeant's shoulder. And so with that all done, we are then going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour. I'm going to apply this over top of all our remaining details. This will be stuff like hanging jewellery, the pommel and the crossguard of the chainsword, and the embellishments on the bolters. Naturally, this of course means it's time to add some shades. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Nuln Oil. We're going to apply this over the top of the hard black details, so the casings of the weapons, and apply this also over the top of the silver as well. And with that Nuln Oil all applied, we then take some Reikland Fleshshade. We apply this over top of all the gold. So with our shades all applied, normally this would be the point where I would say our models are up to what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, but in this instance they're not, because we do of course have that one big relay which is kind of key and part of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Corax White and we're going to apply this over top of all of our white armour. Now, as we mentioned earlier on when we were doing the red, now is a good time to tidy up the freehand should you need to. However, otherwise what we're going to do So we're just going to apply this over top of all the flat areas of the armour, avoiding any of the recesses where our Seraphim Sepia has really settled. So with all of that Corax White applied, we're now going to highlight all of that white because we are now officially at what I would call a battle ready. So the colour we're going to be using next, or first for this next stage, is some thinned down white scar. And as mentioned, we are going to use this to highlight all the white. With our white armour now all highlighted, looking fantastic, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Wild Rider Red. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the red. With that red all highlighted, we're then going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to highlight all the black details. So with that all done, we are now going to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight our Sergeant's face. With that all done, we then take a teensy tiny little dot of Black Legion. We apply this over the top of the eyeballs. And with that Black Legion all applied, we then take a teensy tiny little dot of Screaming Skull. We apply this in the corners of the eyes, pick out the teeth, and we highlight the parchment with it as well. And with that Screaming Skull all applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Fulgrim Pink. I'm going to use this to highlight the wax seals. And so with that all done, it's now time to highlight the metallics. We're going to start with some thinned down Ironbreaker to highlight all the silver. With all that silver applied, we're then going to take a little bit of some Warp Lightning, and we're going to apply this over top of any buttons and lenses you might have. And so to finish off our white scars now, we're going to take some thinned down Liberator Gold and use this to highlight all of the gold.
And there we have it. The base is now complete in the same style as the rest of my Space Marines from Armageddon, and our White Scars Intercessors are now finished. And I genuinely think these might be amongst some of the best Intercessors I've ever painted. I really, really love them, and I love how they've come out. I think they look absolutely fantastic, and ultimately not particularly difficult to do. And, well, I could have added even more tribal markings. I was thinking that as I was editing this, but I think it looks great. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/Warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.